I'm so excited to be here, guys, to do stand-up. It's actually the first place I ever did stand-up was at UTD, so thank you so much for having me. Especially thank you to all my friends who came. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, thank you. Something I was not excited about doing recently was going to the doctor. The reason is I have this like old white doctor, and he's really mean, and he's seen everything, so he doesn't really care at all. But I've been going to him since I was a little kid. He's a little like abusive. Wait, I just said abusive and little kids together. Not like that. He's my doctor. He's not my priest. So the reason I'm going though is because when I drink or when I smoke weed, I get way too high and way too drunk for no reason. Like it can be just it can be one weed and I'll get so high. And so I go and I'm telling him, and I'm like, hey doc, what's up? And he's just like, how are you doing? And I'm like, just swinging my legs because those places are so tall. And I'm like, okay, so last time I got high, I threw up and I cried to Kanye West's Runaway. And he's like, what? And I'm like, look, never mind. When I drink, it's even worse. Sometimes I get so drunk that I sleep with guys. Doc, is that a drunk thing or a gay thing? I don't really know. Rodrigo, I'm not your therapist. I'm not going to tell you that. I can run some tests on you. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So, he runs some tests, he comes back, and he's like, I got your test, Rodrigo, and you actually do have something wrong with you. And I'm like, oh, what's up? He's like, well, the enzyme in your liver really doesn't process both the toxins in marijuana and in alcohol well, so you get drunk and high really quickly. I'm like, okay, is that serious? He's like, no, it's something in the medical field we call being a baby back bitch. And I was like, okay, doc. He's like, I'll write you a prescription, and it was like shotgun 2 beers and grow up hair. I was like, this is pretty rude. So I was pretty stressed out about it, and so I go and hang out with my trusty friends, and they happen to be smoking. And so I'm with them. It's coming to me. I can do it. So my doctor's like, can someone light this one? And I knew instantly, way too high. And so my friend looks at me and he's like, are you good, dog? And I'm like, no, but also, speaking of dogs, you know who takes dogs way too seriously? White people. Let me tell you, I can prove it in one sentence. White people put dogs in their Christmas cards. I don't care, dude. Like, I don't care about your dog. I don't even care about your Christmas card. And so the problem is too, that really pisses me off. You have to get a rescue these days. You have to. If not, you're like this huge asshole, which I get. But I got one from a puppy mill. So everyone's like, oh, you're such a piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. I think that's true. But I don't think rescuing a dog makes you a good person. Like, Tammy, you're still racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you got a black lab doesn't make up for the fact that you won't let your daughter date a black guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. And then it's like, thank you. And every time you meet someone with a rescue, it's so annoying. You're like, oh, what type of dog do you have? And they're like, the rescue. I'm like, oh, I didn't ask why you were conceited. I asked what type of dog you have. It's shaking and it's scaring mine, so get it away, dude. And here's the thing that I can do that tops all of that. I can say this. I'm going to adopt, to rescue all my children, my kids. I'm adopting all my kids. So, when you're like, oh yeah, I adopted the Chihuahua, I adopted a human being, okay? Yeah, fuck you for thinking you're better than me. And dogs and kids are the exact same. They really are. One, so dumb. Just don't do that. Just. You can hit your dog and it'll come back anytime. And your kids, I promise. I got hit all the time. So annoying. But everyone's like, oh, you're gonna adopt your kids, right? It's not really for great reasons. Because I go to school here, I know how much it costs. I don't want to pay for my kids' college. Straight up, I don't. I look at myself, I know my athletic and my intellectual ability. It's not gonna get a full scholarship. But you know what will? My adopted kids. I'm gonna be in the backyard. Dad, I don't want to play basketball anymore. Deshaun, shut up. You're playing basketball and you're going to Stanford on a full ride. How come my brother gets to study engineering? You leave super tush out of it, son. God. And that's why you don't smoke weed, because that's what you start thinking. So, another thing not to do when smoking weed is going to Walmart. Don't go to Walmart. Why? Because Walmart is weird when you're sober. So if you're high, it's the worst place to go in the world. First of all, you're walking by and it's like 17 Oreos for 3, you're trying to do the math. And then every single employee at Walmart, you don't even know if he works there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just as confused as you are. You're like, hey, can I get a banana? They're like, and they just walk away. So, I walk into Walmart, stoned, just like crazy stoned, right? And I walk in, and there's this man, and he is bleeding. Not like, oh, he's got, like, this man, it's open heart surgery, at least, is what's gonna be needed. Like, even my doctor, who's seen everything, would be like, fuck, this is bad. And so this guy goes up to the like, little lady that's working there, obviously foreign, no doubt. And I know she's not, like, Spanish speaking, because I speak Spanish, and we kind of have, like, this thing where we're like, you know, and so you know. So she's not that, but she's definitely a foreign country, and Nike for sure has a factory at her country, like, for sure. And this guy is bleeding, and he's like, dude, do you guys have, like, medical glue? I'm like, dude, not medical glue, like, open heart surgery. And he's like, no. And she's like, no, we don't have medical glue. And I'm like, it's like, what about Elmer's glue? She's like, yes, we have Elmer's glue. And he's like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, no, dude, that is not cool. Just then, a police officer walks in. He's on the scene, right? And he is even taken aback. He's like, that's a lot of blood. The foreign lady, child soldiers in our country, so she's chilling. She does not care. And so then I'm like just high again, and now there's a police officer, so it just got a little bit real. So I'm just like watching between like the aisles. I really want to see what's going on. And then in classic white cop that became a cop because he has a small penis, she's like, son, what are you looking at? Obviously the Quentin Tarantino scene, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like, dude, I hate when police officers talk to you like that. It's so annoying. So, basically, I have this horrible Walmart experience, and then I'm checking out, and I'm there, and I have like 2 toaster strudels, and a Chef Boyardee, and a whole roast made chicken, and it's like just all right there. And the woman is like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good. She's like, it's gonna be $27. I'm like, perfect. So she's like, insert the chip, and I ask it. I'm a feminist. I'm not just gonna insert the chip. And so I'm like, hey, it's 2018. Exactly. So I put the chip in, and she's like, wow, that's a lot of food. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. She's like, don't worry, you're not by no means my most stressful client today. And I'm like, yeah, did you check out that guy bleeding? She's like, yeah, isn't that crazy? And I'm like, what happened? She's like, well, apparently he was like really drunk, really fucked up. And I'm like, speaking of, when I get drunk, I have sex with guys. Do you know if that's a drunk thing or a gay thing? Thank you so much. My name is Rodrigo. You guys are awesome.